It is nice to see you guys.
Good to see you
Welcome.
too. It's been a long time.
It has been a little bit. Look, honestly, I don't know if people quite realise that the giddy heights of the Toombul Westfield car park at 7:35 p.m. with you guys and me and some icy cold cans.
Wow.
In the skivvy days. You were still in skivvies, I think.
There was a lot of sleeveless shirts back then. Because back in the 90s, no one could find our sleeves.
Getting the guns out. Getting the guns out. But it's lovely to be able to talk to you because, you know, I guess in some way our work lives have been in the lives of Australians for the last 25, 30 years or so. In some way or another, people are aware that we exist.
Have been around.
You know, they may not own any of your records or have watched any of my telly, but we've been on this adventure with them, you know, and I think it's fascinating to, you know, kind of have that moment where you get to talk about what it was like and, you know, where we are now.
I do take it for granted sometimes how lucky we've been and how blessed we've been in our career. But it's moments like, you know, thinking back, you know, like I was saying earlier, when I have to fill in an immigration form and they say, what do you actually do for a living? And I have to say, I can still say singer. I don't have to say builder or kind of, you know, labourer yet. I'm still a singer.
Were there labouring jobs on that form for a while?
No, I just didn't think
your first job. What did you do?
I worked in a video store. But no, I just still don't know if I still feel like a bit of an imposter, you know, like.
What?
Well, no, just kind of, is it really, you know, and I've got a daughter and a family and I've been able to feed them all my life, all our family life. But still when I think, when's this going to end?
Really? So how, you know, let me put my armchair psychologist hat on. How many shows of a Las Vegas residency do you need to be shown that this is not an imposter, that you are actually it?
Well, I mean, I guess the whole time in Vegas, we were taking a risk on ourselves. So we were taking a punt on ourselves. We kind of, you know, what they call four-walling it. So we just basically rented a room and was kind of, that's how that all went about. So no one was kind of just handing over a check to us, you know, week by week. It was like we were actually kind of working hard to make it. And I mean, it was a great opportunity and we still get that opportunity at the moment. We still do, you know, some shows each month there. But yeah, so I don't think it's quite it wasn't like the truckload of cash that everyone, the casino didn't back up and say, hey guys.
I'm not saying, I'm incredibly impressed that you backed yourself and you did it as your own promoter. That's like on the business side of things, that's huge. And I really like that. It's more the idea of like, how long into it? And how much do you need? At what point will you go, oh, okay, yeah, this is it.
I guess it's more the longevity of this career, you know, as a singer you see, as a pop artist, it's always evolving, you know, and as you would know too, you go from TV gig, when the TV gig's going to end and, you know, someone might not pay to see me sing again, you know what I mean? So it's always that, maybe it's just the negative in me, but I do think like 10 years down the track, like when I'm 60 or something, am I still going to be able to get up and sing or have people want to see me sing?
Damn straight you are. Because, but it is, you've got a thing, I don't know if it's a brother thing or the way that when there's the four of you together, you have a thing that people can connect with. It's a relatable thing that no matter whose songs you're singing, no matter what tracks, the songs you've written, songs that are other people's songs, the way you present it is, you know, you're not the only people that do that kind of stuff. But the way you present it connects with people in a way that resonates. Yeah. And that's what matters.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have realized that over the years that we've got something special and that we still love it too. We still love getting up there and doing shows. And I think that's always where we have felt the most comfortable is doing things live, you know, doing live shows, touring and doing the shows in Vegas. We just have a comfort factor on stage and that's a cool thing to be able to entertain people. And
have you guys been invited back to your high school to tell the story?
We have a couple of times actually. We went to Hurlston Agricultural High School, which is a weird.
Did you ever have your arm in a cow? Was it that kind of
place?
Yeah,
we
what?
Did. Yes.
I didn't do it.
I
made sure I wasn't there that day. I was so freaked out.
Up to my shoulder.
Okay. I want to know.
Well, I had a glove on though.
Yeah, of course. That's the longest condom you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Did you actually do it?
Yeah, I did it.
I didn't do it. No, I was freaked out.
Okay, I want to.
You want to hear that
I
story?
want to know, like, how old were you? Okay, fellas, this is what we're going to do today.
So the story is we all went to agricultural high school. So, and from year 7 through to year 10, it was compulsory to do agriculture. So, as part of that, you had to grow your own veggie patch, and you got graded on it. And then you would have to go and flip or throw sheep. Toss sheep. So in a paddock, and then you have pregnancy test cows. All the kind of
how do you get him to stay still when you're trying to get him on the stick? Like that's very difficult.
No, and part of pregnancy testing a cow is you have to put your hand up the backside of a cow.
Well, it's kind of more isn't it?
Inside,
Considering you're at shoulder,
shoulder height.
But the weird thing was, like, when you started at year 7, everyone knew this was coming by year 9. You'll be pregnancy testing a cow. It's like, where do you get to year 9? And you're told how to hold your hand. I don't know if you can see it, but it's kind of like a beak. And you put it in and turn it, and then I think you bounce. You bounce the.
I think you have to. You
bounce the
feel
uterus
bounce
or
for something to see if it bounces. And it was like I remember I was doing it. It was like I couldn't feel it. I was too freaked out to feel anything in there. It's like, yeah, I know, I felt it. That's okay.
Can I come out now?
The thing, if you move too much, the cow can clench, and you can I think you can get your arm broken. If they move and then clench and. So anyway,
my goodness, that is
memorable. I'm sure.
So clearly the farming didn't rub off into the music career, but we
didn't.
But I think that is a part of it. I was a roadie for years before I started in radio, and there's something about doing something that's adjacent to what you really love. I mean, you wouldn't have gone to this school if you weren't interested in it, right?
No, it was actually a school for you had to do a test to get in, so you meant to get a better education, like a public school, but it was selective, so.
Right? So so you were there.
For other reasons, yeah.
But at some point you're like, okay, I'm kind of here, but this is actually a lot harder and not really what I want to do. I'm going to work really hard so I don't have to, this is my fallback. I don't want my fallback. Like lugging road cases up and down the front steps at at the back end of the Broadbeach Hotel and stuff like that. Like after a while, I've got to do something else.
Me.
I've got to get out of here. It's interesting. I went to a all boys rugby school, and the musical, cohort was a very small and quite picked on little bunch in the corner.
Like us too.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Our school was big on rugby, and so we were very different. I guess because we were good at it, it was a good thing. But we actually we called ourselves the Four Tracks before Human Nature
with an X because hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was to
90s.
give it the edge.
Yeah.
But the kids above us in like year 10, 11, they call us the Four Skins as a joke. So yeah, it was good.
Hats off. Hats off, really.
Now,
That's a good
selective school. Look, I passed a test to come up with that one. Come on.
So I was like, yeah. And then so when we were making the first
that is a
Human
good
Nature
one.
record,
It is.
the
Pretty
producer was referred to us as the Skins.
Love it. But how correct were they? I mean, had they seen the changing rooms? Like, were they at all
Well,
correct?
no, actually, I think only 3 of us.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So, anyway.
So I think
the 3 skins. No, maybe I don't know, the 1 skin maybe.
Really? Well, look, I know my last name's Ginsberg, but I certainly surprised a lot of people after I got divorced when I was dating in America. There's a lot of women who were like, "What?
What is?
Oh yeah, sorry about that. I should have possibly warned you. Australia in the 70s is a different place." And I was the only person I knew that looked like this. So tell me about what it's like to blow the conch and go, all right, we're going to make another record, and it's just going to be you and me. Do you have how do you chat with other boys about it? Like, how does it work?
It was actually a transitional time. Like Mike and I, in the early 2000s, kind of flirted with doing something together as the Tierney Brothers, and just none of the songs really felt right. And it was literally just before we did the Motown record, so it was kind of this transition period, and then Motown came across, and it blew up. Like no one knew in our career what would happen with that. So that kind of really just took us a whole new trajectory. And then when Phil left Vegas and there was this big transition moment in Human Nature, I'd been writing again, and there was just all this uncertainty about the group. And so Mike and I just thought, let's just do that album we always wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so we started on that, and we didn't really ask permission. The guys, we just told them we were doing it. And it was almost like Phil had rewritten the rule book for the group by leaving. And so it was just, okay, all bets off.
Right. And a lot of bands and a lot of relationships don't really survive something like that. I'm in parts I'm watching the Angels documentary, which came out about a couple of years ago, and I had no idea about splits of songwriting credits and how that really kind of damaged what was
Right,
happening
yeah.
inside the band. And a lot of bands, a lot of friendships people don't speak to each other ever again.
Yeah.
You know, what's
right.
it like managing relationships like that you've known each other a long time?
Yeah, I think it's been, it's been interesting. I mean, we've had so much over the years, there's so much happened between all four of us, even, and as brothers, there's been a lot that's happened between
Trust me,
us
I've got
too.
3 of them. Like,
And a lot of
it's
happens in
hard.
families too.
Yeah.
Families something will happen and they don't, families don't talk to each other anymore.
Happens, yeah.
And I think it's just kind of, I don't know. I think with the group we have, this kind of, we just continue to get on and work together. We still enjoy that side of things when we all get on stage. And probably the friendship side of thing is not as tight as it probably was years ago, or back when we were at high school.
But kids are way more fun
Yeah,
than
and
any of your
adults,
mates.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
really are. Your kids are like, I'm sorry, guys. I know we've been through a lot, but I'm learning so much. I know they're 2, but good God, this is hilarious. Sorry, I'm not coming.
And they think you're awesome.
Yeah, that's also. Well,
Yeah.
how old are yours now?
Mine's 8.
Mine's 14.
Oh, I've got 5 and 21. So, yeah.
Oh, the 21-year-old.
I think your awesome part is perhaps a little behind you now. It doesn't come back for a while. It's
Except when we do something stupid on TikTok, then Isabel still thinks we're kind of
That's kind
of
cool.
awesome or kind of not really awesome.
yeah.
It is weird though. People don't understand. Like, Phil came to Vegas to rehearse just recently, and there was no small talk. There just isn't, because it's like you just don't get below the surface anymore. I don't know if you feel like that with friends you've been together with for years. I saw this. Robbie Williams did this poster, and it said, I don't know if we've been friends for 15 years or we've just been to a lot of the same places.
Oh, wow.
And I thought that just kind of struck me as like, okay, that's kind of how I feel a little bit about some moments with human nature. It's like, have we been friends for 36 years or just done a lot of the same things?
Well, it's a friend relationship, but it's also a business relationship. And anyone who's been working in a tight team for a long time, you orbit in and out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
how
for
much of
sure.
yourself you are there. Like, you'll always deliver because that's the job. This is also a job.
And I think we always have a respect for what the group represents and what
Yeah.
it means to people and what it is for us, as a business, and and how that people still love that, love human nature as a group to get
Yeah.
up and do these shows and see us live. So I think we all have a great respect for that and for each other as artists too. And I think that's part of probably why, we're kind of comfortable with each other doing different things, like when Phil's done something different or Toby's went and done a show he did. It was in musical theatre years ago. And it was like, yeah, you just got to respect that, we're all individuals and we all like to do something different, at some point too. And I think that's part of what was Andrew and I doing this Tierney Brothers project. We still had a passion to do something original, original music and get back to doing something that we started, loving as kids in high school, where we started writing music together. And I think that's, you just got to let people kind of go down those avenues sometimes and kind of satisfy that urge to do something different.
Where does trust play a role in that, and where does your own self-worth play a role in that? Because years ago when I was in bands, I started flirting with another band and it did not go down well.
Right.
It was only on the other night. I was playing double bass in that band. I played electric bass in this band. That was a hip-hop band. This was a metal band. They were 2 complete different things, but some of the other guys were like, what? And it was really difficult.
I think early on, like I remember when Toby did Cabaret, and he was fantastic in Cabaret. And I thought maybe he'll go and do something. Maybe this will be the new thing for him. And there was a concern there for the group because we were still so fledgling. We were like, what? That was in 2000 or something.
Yeah, it was pretty
early on. And then when Phil left Vegas too, there was I don't know, it was kind of a weird thing. Like, we didn't know what the future of human nature would be.
How did you navigate hang on, like, they want to go do this thing, and what you mentioned before, it's important people have their own thing, but how did you navigate does that mean we're not giving them everything they need? Like, how did you navigate, that?
When Andrew was talking about sort of Phil making that decision to move away it took us all by surprise a little bit, and we all had to kind of reflect on our kind of what the group means for us individually, and okay, do we want to continue doing this, or how does it move forward? How do we continue working through this? So I think we all just kind of had to reflect on that, and I guess we've all come to that point now where we're kind of happy to get back together and do things in Australia. In the States, we still perform as just me, Andrew, and Toby doing Human Nature stuff, and it's just kind of we're just all, I don't know, happy to do different things, and I don't know, it just feels like it's working out, I guess.
Well, but the way you've navigated it to that is extraordinary. You can't really dismiss or minimize that, because I don't know of many other creative relationships or work relationships would be able to handle that sort of thing.
We tried not to take it personally. I mean, I know Phil was probably the most least personal about it. Like, I think he's done it really well. He's been super kind and super, like, I feel like he's a way nicer person than I am about it. He just is. Like, I feel like an asshole when I think about it, because Phil's just so kind. He'll do everything, and there's still part of me that's still working through it.
Right.
But I feel like there's that. There's real acceptance, but amongst the four of us, that this is the new normal.
Mm-hmm.
Still evolving, I feel.
Yeah, you get to say to the songs, "Mum and Dad still love you very much, but sometimes not all of us are going to sing you at the same time." Okay.
I mean, there is a point now where my daughter says, "Who's the other guy?"
Oh wow!
Well, she's only 8, so she doesn't really know.
Yeah, it's true.
It's like, will the other guy be there? And it's like, and I remember when there was a time when we'd gone up and Phil's son said, "Who's that again?" to me.
Wow.
So, and there's more there than that. But actually, as I was coming to do these shows, my little girl Violette said, "Will the other guy be there?"
But I think that's
so. We've got a shirt that says "the other guy."
You mentioned the way that you first came to Vegas earlier, and I remember when I first met you guys, the business of putting a band like yours together in the early 90s, mid 90s was big business. All right, there was a lot riding on. If you did it right, it could be huge. When did you first start seeing the perils of what could befall you if you didn't understand how the money worked in this gig?
For us, doing live shows was always kind of where we kind of made our income. So that we kind of really tried to keep that going and keep control of that ourselves, because it was the tours and that was all that.
Bums on seats, man.
Yeah, that's still to this day. That's kind of been our. We've never seen a lot of royalties from records or anything like that, and so it's been from doing live shows, and so we kind of have tried to understand as much of that as possible. And I think doing the Vegas thing, that really kind of, I mean, we were running a business there, and it was kind of more than we bargained for. We were employing people. We had to deal with it wasn't just a band anymore. We had these people that it was a whole. It was like week in, week out. It was like 6 nights a week we were doing these shows, and you've got all these people that you got to deal with the kind of personalities and people coming to you and saying, it was just, it's like, okay, I never expected this is what we'd having to be dealing with, as a boy band,
Yeah.
So it was kind of, and then, how much you're spending on marketing, how much we can't spend that much there. We need to, and then, you look at the numbers each night and work out, how do we market ourselves, but still, keep enough money to pay ourselves. And it was just, it was really interesting for us to see that side of things too. And as you said before, the show business side of show business.
There's a lot to be made, but there's a lot to lose.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And you can back yourself. You can buy a big room like that. I mean, I've got this gig coming up next week at the Sydney Opera House with some international clients, and I was telling them, like, look, it still is. It's the people's house. There's no barrier. If you can afford it, you can book the concert hall if you want.
Yeah.
Anyone can book it. You can book a 3,500 seater.
Yeah.
But then you've got probably close to 100 and something grand worth of crew just to open it. What are you going to do? Like,
well, we were thinking, I mean, with the Tierney Brothers, it's everyone thinks because of Human Nature, we've got this certain level of, just expectation, but we want to tour as the Tierney Brothers, and we were looking at the Opera House, and it's like, well, your entry fee is this. It doesn't matter who you are and what you're doing. It's like, we've got to think, okay, let's be humble about this,
Yeah, right.
you know. And so you're right. You kind of the business side of things. Well, it'd look great to be playing this opera house, but you're going to lose money
Yeah.
unless you fill it. You know, those kind of conversations and thoughts are real.
The thing that I do love about you guys, which one of my favorite bands in the world is Hanson. All right, I think they are incredible.
They're still going,
mate. They went independent after their second album. They've been independent since 2002, and the way that they have run that enterprise and the way that they connect with their fans and the way that they service their fan base is unbelievable. All right. As you've gone along and as you guys have progressed, talk to me about what it is to look after the people that will buy that ticket and will come and, if you're booking a move, like if you're going to see the Opera House and tickets $180, yeah, but it's not a cheap room. The people that will go, no, of course I'm going to spend that because I love those guys and I always have a great time. How do you, over the years, what have you learned about looking after that core people who always come to see you every time you come to town?
I think that's probably been one of the biggest eye-opening things for us, kind of moving into the whole, the social media age. Because, when we, in the 90s and in the early 2000s, the social media wasn't a thing. It was like Facebook was just starting. And then so just getting, I guess, our heads around that, I guess it's that thing. I think social media is just, it's become that great way to look after those fans that really love you and they want to find out everything about you and so kind of, I think that particularly with what Andrew and I have been doing, we've kind of tried to get an understanding of that's how this works for us, because I think that for a long time it was like, oh, why do we have to do this on social? Why do we have to make these silly TikToks? Why do we have to talk to but it's like now you kind of get it. It's like, well, those people, it's to really service those people who've been supporting you for, and the hardcore fans who will go and buy a ticket, who'll kind of listen to you song on the first day it's out, and it's, I think we've learned that probably over the last few years that how important that is to keep those people interested, and keep giving them things that will keep them interested. And
probably in the early days, we took it for granted a little bit. I think in stores and stuff, 5,000 people screaming and we got to sign all their CDs, and it's like,
I think I hosted a few of them for you
guys.
guys.
Yeah. If only these days there'd be 5,000 people at a shopping centre coming to do stuff. But we were kind of young and so much of that stuff that happened in the early days, we really just we worked hard, but there was an expectation that's what happens, you know. You get signed to Sony Music and you tour with Michael Jackson and you put your album out and
of course,
and that's what happens. And then the second album comes in at number one and that,
now we're on to a Celine Dion. This is what happens.
That's what happens. So now 36 years later, we're kind of thinking some of those fans are still there and we're so appreciative of them and whatever we can do to kind of give them more information about what we're doing or kind of feel that they're appreciated we'll do it. But
that's what any product, any great business will do. They will look after their loyal customers. That's loyalty bonuses are in every company.
True.
And the trick there is to never give them a reason to lose that.
Yeah.
You've seen this industry change so much. When did you first notice that things were shifting?
When we came back and started to want to do original music again, it was a really big change because we'd done all these covers albums with Human Nature and there was a real acceptance of that and, people were still buying CDs and so you could still get that. But then I think our audience had changed and they weren't kind of the people that were doing original pop music. It was a whole different kind of demographic. They were kind of on streaming and we really hadn't focused on that.
It's kind of changed in a head spinning kind of way. You know, it's literally nothing like it was. Kind of feels a little bit like you're just giving it away a little bit. I mean, it just feels like you make the music and it's like, here everyone. It's kind of a strange thing to get your head around, particularly when you've come from where we were, when you would go out and sell CDs. And
I remember the bass player from Australian Crawl lives in a nice house.
Yeah.
He probably didn't write any of the songs, but he got performance royalties. He got mechanical performance royalties every time that song played on radio, every time the license was ever, those guys made money and they never really made it big outside Australia, but they made money. They made enough money to be shit and learn how to. But they did. Bands made enough money to be shit enough to go and play and be, oh, this now we're better. Oh, now we're even better. Second album. Hey, you know. But that doesn't exist now. Which sucks.
I feel for new artists now. It's a tough world to break into, and I think because of the streaming world too, you get so much more from music all over the world, you know, and then the US, you know, just kind of, I guess, takes over the streaming charts and Spotify charts. So it's just to try and break through that as a local artist. It's a tough game.
I know the answer to this question. You might, but do you know the last time an Australian band was number one in Australia? Single.
No. Well, it's interesting. I mean, I know Vance Joy with Riptide is still
band.
No, band. I don't know.
I'll give you a clue. One of them now makes money with the largest musical franchise export Australia's ever made.
It's not Five Sauce, is it?
It was Justice Crew in 2014. Right. That was the last time an Australian band had a number one.
Wow.
And now Big Strong John's making money with the Wiggles.
Yeah, I've seen him in the Wiggles.
But that's the only guy still. Like, isn't that fucking nuts? Like, only because I heard you talk about it does get overwhelmed with the American thing. And this does kind of freak me out a bit, going, yeah, but we sing our own songs about our own life and what our own culture is like and what it is to be an Australian and be an Australian parent or be an Australian in love or be an Australian going for a drive in the car with your friends. But now all these, you know, those are songs we've heard from other kind of cultural center points, and it's a bit odd.
And the other thing is, like, the entry level for music is so low now. You can release, you know, we could record a song right now and release it. It'd be on Spotify tomorrow through DistroKid or whatever. But then you look at the world, there's probably 10 big songs in the whole world. Everyone's listening to the same songs. And it's kind of, there's millions and millions of songs being released. But then because of streaming, there's actually only 10 big ones in the whole world, you know, whether it's Benson Boone and Teddy Swims and Sabrina Carpenter, but they're big everywhere.
Far out, man.
So why are we making music, guys?
Well, because, I mean, why you asked me, like, oh, is this your thing now? Is this the podcast thing? Is this your thing? And I said to you, well, it's one of like 15 things that I do. Why am I not in a corporate job? Why did I not just bite the book? Because I don't know how to do anything else. And I can't do anything else. And I'm sure it's crossed your mind that there's probably an opportunity somewhere and one of your mates on LinkedIn's gone, you know what, you'd be really good for this. You want to try this out? Like, yeah, but I can't do anything else. I don't know how and I don't want to.
Well, it's with Mike and I doing this record, and it's kind of, you know, what are our hopes and realities for this record? It's kind of, you know, it's a big music world out there, and hopefully all the Human Nature fans will love what we're doing. Hopefully we'll discover a new fan base. But the reality is maybe not, you know, I don't know. But we're still doing it because we just love it.
Yeah.
You know, we want to do it, and it makes my daughter smile, you know, that dad's a singer. You know, and we did this stupid TikTok the other day where we were seeing Pink Pony Club in a stairwell, and I showed it to Violette and said, that's what Daddy did today for work. She thought, oh, that's cool, Dad.
I love it.
Well, I love it.
Yeah.
I did think about you a lot when I watched that Lou Pearlman doc. I thought about what you guys, you know, were going through. Like did you watch it? Have you seen it?
No, I did have someone come up and say to me they had a real appreciation for what we might have been negotiating or kind of making our way through. I mean, they had a success on a massive level, way different to us. So the kind of money that he was, you know, he's siphoning off $1 million that you don't miss it.
Yeah.
But it's kind of despicable what it was. How it went.
I think it was such a bold thing that as an Australian, you went, you know what, we're gonna do that too. Because so often as Australians, I mean, because what you were putting out was you were doing a world-class product comparable to someone who had literally zeros on the budget of the marketing and development and songwriting. You're right, and you were doing it, and you were going note for note in the charts with these guys. And I thought that's a bold thing to go and march out the front door and do.
We didn't know that actually when we first came out. We didn't know the Backstreet Boys were out. It was so bizarrely, we'd put out a song called "We've Got It Going On," and they had a song called "You've Got It Going On." It was like, why have we got the same song title? I mean, that was a song Mike and I had written, and it wasn't even because we'd heard the Backstreet Boys song. Just we were on the same page.
It was the 90s. That was the thing you'd say. Hey, you got it going on.
And that's how Dad met Mum. I always I did though when I watched that. I thought a lot about the art, and I was hoping I could talk to you about it. Let's just say, for example, just out of nowhere, there's people watching this and like, you know what, I want to start a boy band. What are the 5 things people need to know about doing the perfect boy band ID?
ID. Well, it's kind of cool if you got to go name check. Hey, I'm Andrew. I'm Mike. I'm Tony. I'm Phil. And all together, we're human nature.
The name.
Yeah.
And if you really want to tickle the producers, you'll put a song at the end of it. And you're listening to Nick's 96.5.
Oh, wow.
Do it
And you
a cappella
harmonise
or
it.
harmonise it. Yeah.
Oh my
And then they'll
God.
play it.
All the time.
Well, yeah, you would. That's the play that you'll hope they'll play it all the time.
Is there any physicality with this? If you're being filmed?
Funny story talking about that whole. But when we did over to Germany, because Germany was where all the
Loved it.
music, kind of the phenomenon
it
started. It
exploded
exploded
there.
from
Yeah.
there. But when we went over there, we didn't realize that we weren't as boy band as the other boy bands. Like we were a bit more kind of reserved, I guess, because every photo we did, they were saying, "Oh, point finger." You know,
I didn't know there were Japanese photographers in Germany, but sure.
That was my German accent. Sorry, it kind of sounds.
And
like,
when we were in Japan, it was the same.
All right.
The same guy.
There was a
Same
German
guy,
photographer.
But it was like all the actions that you had to do in your photos. It was like we would just like stand there and it's like, no, that's not kind of because you had to be. I don't know why, but everyone had to point.
You
at
make
the
action.
You
make action at the camera.
It was like.
Right.
But everyone, then you'd go and look at a magazine, and every boy band would do these same poses.
In metal, in heavy metal, it's holding the bag of oranges.
Oh, is that one?
Yeah,
Holding the bag of oranges.
Oh, yeah.
And in the kind of mid-90s, it was hold the invisible watermelon.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
All right. Just straight at the lens with 2 hands like that.
yeah.
And that was
And boy band just
It was just
like,
point
oh,
at the
just
camera.
point,
Yeah.
Kind of at different
you.
levels and
If I really cared, I would put some muscularity into my arm,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
don't that much because I'm bad. Yeah.
It was yeah.
But we really rebelled against the whole boy band thing at the time. We didn't realize we were kind of pushing against what we probably needed to do to be bigger,
Yeah.
but we just resisted for a while. And then
And then the sleeves came off.
yeah, well, we had that song "Hit It Love You," which was massive, and it was like our viral moment. I think it took us. We were in the UK at the time we released the song. We had no idea how big that song was becoming.
Right.
It was kind of cool.
When you're as parents and you start having kids and stuff like that, life can change fairly quickly. I mean, is your daughter the eldest in the band, or is there?
I know Phil's got an just slightly older daughter
Right.
as well, but
How does that change? How did that change for you? The way that you related to, this thing you dedicated your life to, and this thing that you've got these other 3 people in your life, these other men that you've kind of on the same journey as. How did that start to? I'm interested to hear as a dad. How did that maybe change the way you looked at things?
at the time that I started a family, we were actually very, having that regular Vegas gig was a really good thing because we weren't having to go out on tour constantly. We were able to do what we did at night and come home and, pretty much have a regular life,
Yeah.
which was, I feel pretty blessed that we was able to do that and be there for all my daughters, growing up, I was there for so much of it. So, and I hear stories of bands that, basically they were never home when their kids were growing up.
Did you ever get to see Wayne Newton's 10 o'clock show?
No, we didn't get. I mean, Wayne Newton's still performing in Vegas.
I know.
I haven't seen him.
So you remember?
You've seen it?
No, but because I wanted to know if it was what it looked like. Chris Isaac, the Wicked Game, Chris Isaac guy, would always tour out here on promo tours with Kenny, his drummer, and they were a great double act. They would always do interviews together. And Kenny was telling us once about they were hanging out backstage with Wayne Newton at Vegas, 9 for the 10 o'clock show, and they're backstage, and it's 10 to 10, and Wayne's just ripping, telling stories, and him and Chris are laughing and they're having a good time. And Kenny's looking at his watch going, it's 10 to 10, man. You're standing here in an Adidas tracksuit. The crowd's filling up. I can hear it. 5 to 10. Wayne's going, oh, yes, well, anyway. And he's still there, still chatting. At 2 minutes to 10, he starts to unzip his tracksuit. And I think there's 800 people out there. What are you going to do? Someone comes into the room. He has an entire tuxedo completely stitched and made perfectly in the front He steps through the trouser legs into a pair of slip-on shoes. His assistant zips from the belt line up behind the back collar, hands him a microphone. He says, "Enjoy the show, boys." Walks on stage.
Wow.
And I'm like, that? Like he must have had 10 of them,
Yeah,
right.
all custom built. So
Just to zip up.
didn't want to do any of this, didn't want to mess with the bow tie, everything.
Like a onesie, kind of.
Exactly. A tuxedo onesie. That's what's next.
We're going to do that for the shows in Vegas.
You've got to
now,
find
yeah.
you've got to find
That's
Wayne
awesome.
Newton's tuxedo person.
onesie.
Well, he was doing 7 nights a week, just year in, year out, just consistently.
From when he was young, like
Yeah.
like a teenager, I think. You know, he started in Vegas.
Wouldn't it be interesting? Do we have that kind of culture of the show in itself becomes a cultural icon and just going to it becomes the thing?
I don't think anymore.
Here in
No.
Australia? No.
Oh, not here in Australia, not even in Vegas now. Like
No?
it's the turnover's been really like something that'll run all year round for weeks and days. It's like now it's like more short-term residencies.
Yeah,
like
right.
You'll get Gwen Stefani will come in, and then Bruno Mars will come in. They'll do these short Maroon 5, these short stints. No one seems to sit there apart from who's the magician, David Copperfield. He's there
Yeah, the man.
constantly.
I just wonder if in Australia we could do that. I wonder if
I don't know if we've got the population to
Well,
support it.
if we did. I don't know.
And the thing was, back in the day when they did that in Vegas, the casinos were bankrolling the shows.
Right. Yeah. Right.
So it was a part of
Mm.
the reason to come to Vegas was you'd buy a room and then you get to go and see Wayne Newton free.
Yeah.
Whereas
right.
now everything has to have they call it ROI, return on investment.
Mhm.
And every single thing, and that was what we had too, was if the show wasn't making its own money back, then the show would go.
Right.
Whereas back in the day, the show was just part of the entertainment.
Part of the reason to
Yeah.
get you in there,
Get
and
you in the door. And
It changed Vegas forever.
put some chips on the tables and get that.
Yeah, totally. If
Yeah.
I gamble, I'll get to see Elvis for free. That kind of thing was the way it worked, or Sinatra.
Well, I think that
Or Human Nature. But no, it never. We went there at the kind of, I think it was in the 90s or the maybe 2000s. They
It
swapped
turned
to
out-
this model of everything has to make its own money back.
Right. But it all evolves and it all moves, and being able to evolve and move with it is part of the reason that you're here sitting at this table chatting to me right now. And
That is true.
you're still paying the
Still
mortgage,
evolving.
doing this thing, which at the core of it was, I mean, for me, I had to think about it a lot when the TV stuff went away. Like, what is it that I do? And I connect with people through performance, through this,
Yep.
through
Mm.
like that, whether it's mask, batch, doing a keynote. That's what I enjoy doing, and that's what I think I'm quite good at, and I'm better at than other people because people pay me to do it than other people. That I have to take that as evidence against
Yeah.
the imposter thing that does show up in me as well. What is the thing that is at the core of what it is that you do? I mean, is it different? Do you think it's the same thing for you both?
I actually think about that a lot, because I think about the gifts that I've been given and, am I using them the right way? And is there some gift I haven't even tapped into yet?
Mhm.
But no, I really think it is, for me, it's my ability to make music and just see people be happy when I do it. Whether it's with Mike and I with this new album, we've been able to do that, and people saying I love this song or I love that. It's like, wow, okay, that's cool. Or with Human Nature, they love watching us perform. So I feel that's why I do what I do. And what about you, Mike?
Yeah, I guess it's that ability to be able to make people feel something through
Mm.
music, sing a song that, makes people feel a certain way, makes them hear it, even if it's songs. Because I guess we've written songs, we've interpreted songs, and I guess it's the way that we've been able to, I guess reach people with the way we sing and the way we perform. That's really kind of, I guess feel like that's probably the gift that's been able to continue giving.
And what's the thing that you get? Andrew just mentioned there, being able to see people enjoy it when he does it. Is the thing that he really enjoys? What's the thing that you do?
Yeah, it's just that. Yeah, I guess it's that feeling from. I guess that's why doing shows live has always kind of been important to us, because you do get that feedback straight away. It's performing live is just, I get a buzz out of it still.
It's so the business has changed so much. So I was trying to think about, as we were getting ready for this today, I was thinking a lot about what is the business of music? What are you actually selling? You're selling symmetrical vibrations of air, a particular combination of them that lasts for 3 minutes and 30 seconds. But what is the result of those symmetrical vibrations of air? It's an emotional response in the person that listens to it. All right. And when you buy it, you are, I guess you're buying an injection of that emotion. the feeling of fuck yeah when I listen to that Angel song, for example. That's the feeling I get, and it can change gears for me. Whether you're having a good day and it gets better when you play your favorite song, or you're having a bad day and you put that song on, and you're like, oh yeah, that's what I needed. Or you're having a sad day and you play a sad song and you're like, this is good. Someone else feels what I feel. That's what the money's for, to quote Don Draper. That's what people pay for.
It's funny, I've watched back because, we do what we do and just get it done. And sometimes I watch back a video, like if someone said the show was really good tonight or something. And so I watch back a video of us performing and try and look at it objectively. And sometimes I think, wow, we're really good. I understand why people cheered at that point in the show, because it was like, oh shit, that's really good. Like I would probably cheer at that point, even if I didn't like those guys. I'd think, okay, you got me.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool.
It's the thousands and thousands of hours of doing it that you understand what are the bits that get those responses, getting that instant feedback, putting it together, and subconsciously that all kind of comes together. And that's why that's what it is. When you have an experienced performer on stage, which is the other real sad part about venues going away, is that bands get huge with no live experience. And then you go buy a ticket to the show and they're shit.
Yes.
You're like, mate, this is not fun. I'm not having a good time.
Yeah, I think that's, I don't think people really fully appreciate that in a live show that there is a craft to putting something together that really is entertaining. And it's, when you go and see these seasoned, acts who've been touring for years, and you kind of, you get it. It's like, okay, you go and see Bruce Springsteen, or you go and see, and it's like everyone's feeling, he's the way he makes you feel, the way
he turns you on. No.
But, all those great acts, the way, I remember I went to see Prince, probably one of the best concerts I ever saw, in the 90s, and just, he was funny. He was kind of entertaining.
People don't understand how hilarious he was.
And but that's a big
The
part
whole
of
show.
making people, drawing people in, is just have a laugh with someone. Say something funny that's cool, and
my God.
just those little things, or do a song on a piano, just break it right down and do something really cool like that. So I think that's something we've learned over the years, is that craft of how to really draw people in and entertain them and make them have a really great night. And I think that's I think that's something that we've got better and better at over the years.
I love it, man. Will Anderson told a story about going to see Prince at the LA Forum when he did 30 nights there. And I was the only white guy in the room. So he went by himself, because over here, Prince is a pop act, but over there, he's a black act.
Yeah.
And so he went and he watched Prince with the piano part of that particular tour. And he sat down, he played the opening chords of Raspberry Beret and went, oh, not enough time. Everyone's like, he goes, there's not enough time. And he sat and played dun, 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 the opening riff of Manic Monday, which he wrote. And I went, too many hits.
Too many hits, too little time.
Too many hits. And I was like, like you fucker. I love the balls.
Yeah.
There's something about that, because then you get the moment of like, that's a moment that only happened here and happened because I got this ticket and happened because I'm here with this person in the same room, breathing the same air. It's a lovely thing. We mentioned before about family. You have a particularly interesting family structure, the two of you, when you consider who you're married to. The boy's married to sisters. I have 3 brothers, as I mentioned. Over the years, and there's always friction between brothers, what have you found that is the thing that you would want people to know about friction between siblings, and what works and what doesn't work? What have you discovered? Because there's a lot riding on your relationship working.
Yeah, Mike and I get on amazingly well. I don't know. I mean, Mike's, he's got this passive-aggressive nature. Like, he'll kind of say things to me and kind of thing. There'll be moments where we'll kind of have this tension, but then I think we shake it off pretty easily, which is good.
I think grace is a big thing. Just giving someone the time to, if there's something you're uncomfortable about with each other, you just give each other time and just kind of understand that we're different people and the way we deal with things is different. But then at the end of the day, there's a lot of love there. So it's kind of no matter what happens, it's kind of that's the overwhelming, I guess, sense between us, I think.
As we like just without even knowing it, like so much of the same things. Like,
Mm.
you know, everyone, I didn't realize it, but apparently we'll always order the same kind of meals and same drinks and stuff like that. And it's like, people know that, but I didn't realize that. Oh yeah, Mike and Andrew, they'll always have the fried rice and the such. It's like, okay. Oh, they'll always have a Diet Coke or something. So we like the same movies, we like the same music. So that's kind of we're probably more similar than we are dissimilar, which has been a good thing.
Well, you ordered the same drinks until a couple of years back. Can we talk about that? We speak today. I mean, today is my 15th sober birthday today. When people get sober in the community that I'm in, they count that. They call it a birthday in that, like, because the way that it works is that because the way your memories work, you don't really do any learning when you're drinking. And so all the growing up I've done since I was 36. You know, can you talk about that? Can you talk about that, you know, when you realized I'm going to have to make a change here, when you realized it was something that you couldn't really keep a handle on anymore?
I still feel like I'm dealing with it.
Oh, right.
You know, just because it's like, you know, a few years ago I had a bit of a relapse and I started drinking again, and Mike, you know, caught me doing it. And so, and I don't know. I don't know if I may drink again. I don't know.
It's still 50-50.
It's still weird.
For me.
It's weird to me. So I don't want to be this poster boy of like sobriety or stuff, because I don't feel like I'm not out of the woods.
I know, but I don't think, and that's a big part of why, you know, some people remain anonymous. I'll skirt around that because the idea is that, that person said they were sober and then they fell off the wagon and they started drinking and using again, so therefore that thing doesn't work. Well, look, it does, but it's everyone's own journey. Then let me ask you this question. So you and I are both sober. What is it that your life has without drinking that wasn't there when you were?
I'm much more humble, I think. I was pretty arrogant. I used to think I was incredibly funny when I was a drinker. I thought I was like the life of the party, and I wanted to be that guy. I thought I was like just really good. And I can think of some of the things I used to say to people, and I thought they were genius. And I was like Winston Churchill when I was drunk. And so I missed that a little bit, like, because I thought I was a genius, but I'm not that person. Like, I'm actually not that smart. I'm not that wise. So it's just the drink just gave me this confidence to be, arrogant, I think. And I don't have that anymore. I've got more grace, I think. And I don't think I wouldn't be nearly as good a dad as I am if I was drinking now. I can't imagine, this is the thing, waking up and not being able to deal with my daughter because I had a hangover.
Oh, yeah.
I think that would be really, really tough. And I guess I would have had to deal with her and why is Dada. I remember Isabel after Halloween, and I wrote myself off for Halloween, and I was on the lounge. I couldn't clean up the house and stuff. And Isabel, Mike's girl, said, "Why is Uncle? What's wrong with Uncle?" And my wife just said, "Oh, he's just sick." But I will never forget that. It was like she saw me, like it was like just this disgrace.
You're right.
And I'm just so thankful Violette's not seen me be that disgrace.
Yeah, right.
So I'm grateful for that.
And when you spend so much time in a city like Las Vegas, where some people get off the plane and, you know, it's on.
Oh, yeah.
There's a poker machine outside the fucking gate. There's someone there with a tequila shot if you want. Obviously, that is incredibly valuable to you because, like, that relationship with your daughter and that kind of person that you want to stay being is way more valuable than anything that city could have to offer.
Yeah. I mean, I remember there was a time because we used to do shots before the shows, and we do shows every night. And I remember someone saying, someone's going to have a problem at some point. We're like, we're going to have a problem, right? We had this sign up. We christened our dressing room Shotsville. Like, and then here I am, this guy, you know, that's, you know, his dressing room was Shotsville, and I'm still kind of feeling like I haven't beaten it.
Yeah.
You know, I got checked into my hotel, and I've got to look at the bottle of wine they put on my table.
Ah, dude, no, that's rookie move. Rookie move. When you
but it's
get
there.
to take the
It
minibar
spoke
out.
to me.
I always
I'm not, and I'm sometimes it's like it's a test, but it's there, and it's like I'm not going to drink it, but it's there, and it was still talking to me.
I'm
when it came in the
15
room.
years, and I still get them to take the minibar. It's just I'm never going to do it because I'm not willing to lose the life that I've built but it does take up a lot of RAM. I get the spinny beach ball.
Yeah,
Right.
it's the
And I'm
RAM
like,
that I
I'd
get.
rather just,
Remove it, yeah.
relax and not have that,
Yeah, that there and you,
And it isn't, how do I put this to you? I'm not, as far as I'm aware, like today, I'm not going to drink. And that's it. I just
Yeah.
have to get to bed tonight. It's not the rest of my life, but that's all I've done every day.
And I guess that's coming back to this when I say how many days you sober, and I don't want to count them because it's just today's today.
It's today. That's it.
And I'm not saying that people, when they say they haven't drunk for 200 days, I kind of say sometimes I want to call bullshit.
Right.
Because I don't know. I thought if I was counting days, and if I counted days from when I was sober to now, I don't know when I'd have to start and stop.
Right.
So I haven't had this constant journey.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, but if I get through today, and I get through yesterday, get through the other days, and we'll keep going.
It's sometimes it's till bedtime. Sometimes it's I reckon I can do till, I know there's a part of my brain that's still screaming for this every now and again, but I can do the next 5 minutes without that. All right, I reckon I can get till 11:06. Yep, and then at 11:06, I'll see if that thought's still there. Sometimes it's that, and still, 15 years later, still it's like that. But it's what you were talking about before. The person that I get to be for these kids, one's 21, one's 5. I'm so lucky that I always tell Audrey, it's like, you would not want to be anywhere near me when I was drinking. Like, they wouldn't have even looked at me twice, and I'm so grateful that G's never seen that in me, and Wolfie's never seen that.
Well, I think one of the good things now today, I think particularly now, it's so much more acceptable now, and it's kind of you can be cool with it. It's just interesting seeing even just in the culture and people bringing out these alcohol-free beers, and it's like,
I can't
imagine
even do that, man. I can't even
10 years ago, whatever it would have been.
I can't touch it.
But it's like, but that's a cool thing now. It's it's a and people are kind of wear that lifestyle as a badge and of honor.
That it's $24 for a basic spirit.
Yeah.
So G, when she goes out with her mates, like, they don't really drink because they can't
It's too
afford
expensive.
No, I do. When we go out, because Mike and we'll go out as a family a lot, and Mike and Andrew will have cocktail, and I wish Heather and I could too, but I just know it's not that easy.
Well,
I just don't know. I could have one. I thought there was a time where I thought I could have
I
one.
thought that too.
But no, I just wish I could be that person because it was fun and it's a nice social thing, but it's just not for me.
And it's tricky to understand that for people who don't have that. But coming to understand it was like, but I'm glad you did.
But I'm glad I did. It's just interesting. Like Mike said, it's everywhere. Whether it's Tom Holland or it's Ben Affleck or it's all these people, Robbie Williams. Like, it's just like, does everyone have a problem? You know what I mean? Like, no, they don't, because I can see Mike doesn't. But yeah, there's a lot of people, and particularly in our industry too, where there's Liam Payne from One Direction. I'm just so glad that my life didn't go, or I had people around me to kind of steer me in the right direction that didn't go that way, But it's like, it's everywhere.
It is, and yet here you are. You've got to here, and you've got a record out, and you and your brother are together, and you're hanging out with your kids, and it's lovely.
Yeah, it's good.
And I'm glad you guys are still making music, because it's just, you got to do it. You got to put it out there, because I really hope it works. If it doesn't, I'm just glad that you did it as a thing.
And I think our wives are huge believers in us, and I think they're the reason we can still do what we do, because they'd be the first to say, "Stop it." What are you doing, you idiots?
Yeah.
But they're just there, coming out on this tour, and they love us and for what we do, and so I think that's one of the major reasons, if not the reason, we keep doing it.
I would not be anywhere without the fact how much my wife Audrey's backed me on some of the speculation.
Right.
Like this live show that I put together for the comedy festival, I had to build a microphone rig to get everyone, and it was like 10 grand of wireless mics and shit. She's like, do it. Absolutely do it. This is a good show. You should do it. Okay, honey.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing confidence when your wife says do it?
It's amazing.
It's like you think, okay, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's really do it then.
This is not like the thing that wasn't on the list that I brought home from Bunnings. It was like, what? No, we don't need another one of them. It's not that. It's the other thing.
It was like these shows we put on in August, and I said to, they're not big venues, and I said to Heather, we hopefully we'll break even. We might make a little bit of money. Okay, well, isn't this the reason you did this album, to do those shows? I said, Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Yeah.
Because, you know, our management, everyone was saying you shouldn't do it, don't do it yet. We don't have the demands there. And it's like, but our wives said, well, isn't this the reason you made the record?
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, you're right. Okay, yeah, let's do it then.
Is there Corrie? Like, are we going to? There's no Corrie
There
at the
might
show.
be a little bit of Corrie. Well, like Mike said, we're showmen.
Yeah.
So, like, it's even though we play and stuff, it's like, what about we do a bit of Corrie here? Because then you know how the audience is going to react.
Yeah.
You know, so we'll do a bit of Corrie, a bit of shoulder work.
The tour. Where are you going? You're going around doing a lap?
Well, no, we're just at the moment we're doing we're doing 2 in Sydney. We're going one in the Heartland out in Revesby Workers Club.
Yes.
And we're doing the
Great
juniors.
bistro at the Revesby Workers, in case you're wondering. Like, really.
And we're doing the Palm in Melbourne. And we're also doing a show in Vegas at our casino. We're doing
our casino.
Yes.
It's the Tierney Brothers Casino.
Yeah.
It's our casino.
So it's just 4, but we'll see how we go.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
Okay, so Revesby Workers here in Sydney
In August.
in August.
And the King at South Juniors, is it? So cool.
It's a big room. The South Juniors room is a big room.
Well, it's cool.
And they pack it out.
Yeah, well, we hope so. But the Tierney Brothers from Human Nature.
It'll be a freaking good night.
It'll
no
be
matter
fun.
what.
Well, we'll do our album. We'll do some songs because as we've been doing this record, sibling harmony is like the core of so much great music. You know, whether it's the Bee Gees, the Beach Boys, even when you see Billie
Hanson.
Eilish and Phineas do stuff together, like the stuff, the music they're making because they're family is really special.
Yeah.
So I think that's at the core of what we do. So it'll be fun.
What's that old country thing? Only kin can harmonize.
Yeah, I like
Only
that.
kin.
Only kin can harmonize. Thanks so much for teaching me
Thanks,
how to do
Osher.
a great idea. And I'm Osher,
I'm Andrew.
I'm Mike.
and this is Better Than Yesterday. Better than yesterday. Better than yesterday. It today.
We need to practice that.
We should try and get in the same key, yeah?